Hello, my friend. Almost every weight loss program is missing one crucial piece. Now, before I explain what that piece is, I want you to think about something for a moment. If you've struggled with your weight for years, chances are you've tried more than one solution. Perhaps you've tried diets. Perhaps you've counted calories. Perhaps you've joined a weight loss group. Perhaps you've bought meal plans, fitness programs, supplements, books, courses, or coaching, a fitness subscription. Perhaps you've tried several of those things. And perhaps, like many women, you've even experienced periods of success, short success. You lost weight, you felt hopeful, you started believing that this time would be different. And then somehow the weight came back, or the struggle returned, or life happened, or your motivation disappeared, or the plan simply stopped working. And because this cycle happens to so many women, I think it raises an important question. First of all, millions of women can't be wrong. It's not possible that millions of women are lack discipline and willpower. In fact, I have been working with thousands of overweight women, and if there is something they don't lack, then it's motivation, willpower, and discipline. They tried over and over and over and over again, failed, tried again, failed, tried again. What else is that than willpower and discipline? So don't you ever allow anybody to tell you that you lack willpower, motivation, and discipline. Now, the next question. What if the problem isn't that women are failing with diets? What if the problem is that something important has been missing all the time? You see, one of the things I have noticed over the years is that most weight loss programs focus almost entirely on changing eating behavior and what you eat. They teach you what to eat, what not to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, how often to exercise, how many calories to consume. They're very diligent in telling you exactly what to do, how many steps to take, how to stay accountable, how to stay motivated, how to stay disciplined. And while all of those things may be useful in some point of our lives, there is a question that often goes completely unanswered. Why is the weight there in the first place? Now, I realize that question may sound almost too simple, but think about it. Imagine that a warning light suddenly appears on the dashboard of your car. You could cover the light with a piece of tape. You could ignore it. You become annoyed by it. You could even smash the bulb with a hammer. And regardless of what you do, it would disappear. And you could be lean back and say, okay, problem solved. But none of those actions would solve the underlying issue. Maybe a lack of oil, a lack of water, a lack of gasoline. Because the light is not the problem. The light is pointing toward a problem. And it's amazing how, especially when it comes to the body, how symptoms, aka alarm signals, pointing lights, are so accurate to communicate exactly what is wrong if we just would listen. Okay, let's go back to the car. So maybe the car needs more oil, water, or gasoline. Maybe there is something wrong with the electronic. If you, for example, would start inflating the tire, the light would not go out. If you would clean your windows, the light would stubbornly remain. But the moment you fill in oil or water or whatever the dashboard is asking you to do, the light goes off automatically in an instant. And sometimes I think weight works in a very similar way. Actually, I know that our body works that very same way. It uses symptoms to communicate with us. The weight is visible, food is visible, weight gets our attention, weight affects how we feel about ourselves. Food gets our attention, weight affects how our clothes fit, weight affects our confidence. So naturally, weight becomes the focus and food becomes the enemy. But what if the weight itself is not the beginning of the story? Because when I sit down with a woman and listen to her experiences, rarely hear stories that begin with food. I hear stories about pressure, stress, heartbreak, exhaustion, constantly putting everyone else's needs first. I hear the stories about difficult life circumstances, about money issues, about trying to cope with things that felt overwhelming, about grief. And somewhere along the way, weight enters the picture. This is why I often say that weight is not always the problem. It has become a problem for all of us. Most of us women don't like to be overweight. So yes, that's a problem we must take seriously. But it's not the food that is the enemy, and it's not the weight itself that is the problem. There is something underneath that. Because food and the weight are just symptoms. And if that's true, then a very important piece is missing from many weight loss programs. The search for the cause, the real cause, the root of the problem. Like with the grass, we only see the grass above the surface, but the grass only grows because there are roots. You can cut the grass, it will come back because the roots are still there. Several of my clients who didn't come to me with a weight problem but with something else not only solved the problem they came for, but also lost weight and achieved several other goals and changes without even talking about. So, for example, Giselle urgently needed a job, and we worked on some traumas which held her back. Within 3 months, 12 weeks, she found the best job in her field, got rid of her terrible daily headache, fixed the relationship with her mother and with her daughter, ended a relationship she was not happy with. She always thought she would never be able to leave that man. Found the love of her life at the age of 55, ladies. Isn't that good news? And she lost 44 pounds, 20 kilograms during that time, although we never even talked about her weight or food or her love life. We talked about the relationship with her mother, with her father, with her sister, with her daughter, why she can't find a job, things like that. And since everything is interconnected, other things dissolved as well. While she found the best job she could ever have hoped for in her field. And since she loves cooking, I encouraged her, even encouraged her to keep eating normally and things she liked. So it can't be that she ate differently. Do you now understand what I'm trying to say? Let's imagine two women who are both carrying extra weight. From the outside, they may look very similar. They may even weigh the same. But beneath the surface, their stories could be completely different. One woman may be carrying years of chronic stress, another may be emotionally exhausted from taking care of everybody around her. Another may be using food as comfort because she feels lonely. Another may be sleeping poorly every night. Another may be struggling with health challenges. Another may have developed habits that no longer serve her. Another may be carrying fears she doesn't even realize are affecting her choices. Or in my case, I already told you I gained weight during a long period of severe food shortage and gained weight. How cruel is that? Now I'm very grateful for that because it literally saved my life by turning every bite I ate into fat. just to keep me alive. And I'm so grateful to my body. And there's something else why I'm grateful for my weight. Would I still be slim? I would have stopped searching for answers. And I would not sit here today in front of the camera talking to you. I would not have found so many lies, so many misconceptions, so many truths, so many root causes, so much information about what really works, because I was searching for solutions for myself and stumbled upon so many information. So, although your life is different, what I want to say with that is I want to encourage you to be grateful to your body, because you never know what your weight is good for. It will go away if you want, if you do it the right way. For now, right this moment, it's the best that could have happened to you. This is really the best. Still, although I was only eating 500 to 600 calories per day, one doctor recommended to get a gastric surgery done to eat less. It took me weeks to get over that. I mean, how cruel, how ignorant can a doctor be to say something like that? Anyway, that's another topic. So back to you. That's the diet logic. You now begin to learn a different and more sustainable one. Can you see the challenge? The symptom may be the same, but the cause may be completely different. And if the causes are different, why would we expect the same solution to work equally well for every woman? It just doesn't make sense, does it? For me, eating less would have been lethal, for example. Lethal. This is one of the reasons why so many women become frustrated. And eating less is also, by the way, lethal for many women who got the gastric surgery done. They literally starved to death. In the village where I grew up, this happened to a very young woman. You know, when a woman sees somebody else lose weight using a particular diet or method, they naturally want to have the same. They don't want to have the consequences. They want to have the weight loss and how it makes them feel. And they would naturally assume that the same method would work for them as well. And sometimes it does for a while, but very often it doesn't create lasting change because the deeper reason for the weight was never addressed. It's a little like pulling weeds in a garden without removing the roots. For a short time, everything looks better, but eventually the weeds return because the root system remains intact. Now, please don't understand me. Food matters, movement matters, sleep matters, healthy habits matter. I'm not suggesting that those things are unimportant. What I am suggesting is that they are often incomplete. Because if the deeper reason for the weight remains untouched, what it most of the time is, the struggle often continues until you really tackle it and remove it. And you would be surprised how fast this can go. But this is where I believe many women begin feeling hopeless. And I understand it. I was there because they've spent years working on the visible part of the problem while the invisible part remained hidden. Now imagine how different the journey becomes when we start asking different questions. Instead of asking what diet should I follow, we begin asking what is my body trying to tell me? Instead of asking how do I force this weight off, begin asking why has this weight become necessary? Instead of asking what's wrong with me, we begin asking what haven't I understood yet? What can I do differently? Can you feel how different those questions are? And they instantly open doors to new and better answers, doors that have been closed to you for years. And now you have the chance to let them open. They move us away from blame and toward understanding and seeing the bigger picture. And understanding is where lasting change begins. Because the moment you start looking for causes instead of only managing symptoms, an entirely new world opens up. You stop seeing yourself as broken. You stop seeing food as the enemy. You stop assuming that more pressure was the answer. And you begin exploring the possibility that your weight struggle may actually make sense once you understand the bigger picture. Now, does that mean every woman has the same root causes? Of course not. That would make things too simple, too easy. And thank goodness not, I should also add to that. In fact, one of the most surprising discoveries of my own journey has been realizing just how many different reasons can contribute to weight struggles. That's why I even more deeply believe there is no one magic solution that works for everyone. Because women are not all carrying the same story. And if the stories are different, the path forward may need to be different as well. What matters is finding the missing piece. And yes, that's the bad news. I didn't find it because I can't work with myself the same way I work with my clients. I work in a deep relaxation state. And that's very easy for me to find the root cause and help the woman through the elimination or the transformation process. But I didn't find it for me. The only thing I understand is that it's a severe metabolic problem because of the many years of food scarcity and the stress. One day I will find it and then it will go away. So that's my take on it. Piece that explains why your body has been holding on is the real root cause. Piece that explains why previous solutions didn't last. Piece that allows everything to finally make sense. Because once that piece is found, lasting change becomes much easier and much faster than constantly fighting the symptoms. And perhaps that's the greatest mistake the weight loss industry has made. For decades, it has taught women to fight the symptom, aka smash the light bulb on your dashboard, pull out the battery of the fire alarm. What if the real opportunity is to understand the cause, to understand these symptoms, which can guide you to the cause? Because when you understand the cause, you're no longer working against yourself. You're finally working with yourself and with your body. And that literally changes everything. From that moment, your weight story is not longer the same. Picture has completely shifted. So, if this conversation resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to join our free Women Beyond Weight community, where women are discovering gentler, deeper, and more lasting path toward weight freedom. For me, freedom is the ticket. I want freedom by exploring the missing pieces that traditional weight loss programs often overlook. I have reserved a spot for you. The link is below, and I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for watching. This is Angela Buri. Take care and happy slimming. Bye for now.